It's the end of March, and the Quinnipiac women's basketball team is still alive in the NCAA Tournament. The Cinderella run and the number 12 seed from the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference taking on the number 1 seed in the Stockton Regional, the South Carolina Gamecocks, sitting at 29-4, SEC champions, regular season and tournament champions. To break down the Gamecocks, talking to Willie Smith right now. Willie's been covering the team for over 12 years. He's actually going to Madison Square Garden on Friday morning to cover the men's team. But Willie, thanks for hopping on and talking to us a little bit about the Gamecocks women's team.
No problem.
So, Willie, it's been a pretty fun time in Columbia for the last week. You know, the men's team won its first NCAA tournament game in over 40 years. The women's team survives a scare from Arizona State. Just kind of characterize what the emotion's like going down, around campus and around Columbia.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. Obviously, this is expected now since Don Staley's been there. This is expected with the women. This will be the fourth straight year. The fourth straight year they have gone to the Sweet 16, and they've gone to Final Four obviously once, but the men hadn't won a tournament game since 1973. So this is new for the men, but it's been kind of fun because the two teams actually hang out a lot together and are very close. And you always see the whole other team at the other's games if they're in town at the time. So it's been kind of a fun deal.
That sounds great. The women's team took care of number 16 seed UNC Asheville 90-40 in the first round, and then had a little bit of a scare at home against Arizona State 71-68. I know you've been around the team the last couple days. What gave the Gamecocks so much trouble on Sunday against Arizona State, and then what kind of helped them get over that hump and take care of them to move on to the Sweet 16?
Well, a couple of things. I think with obviously Elena Coates, who's a 3-time All-SEC performer and who's probably going to be the first or second overall pick in the WNBA draft out, they were able to put a little bit more attention on Asia Wilson, who's obviously is the star of the team, 2-time SEC Player of the Year and first-team All-American every year she's been here. But they were able to put a little bit more on her, and the team did not shoot particularly well from the outside, and that's the key for them now with Coates out for the rest of the season. Is if they don't shoot well from outside, teams have a chance to beat them now. So that's the biggest thing, as well as not letting Wilson just completely take over games, which she's capable of doing.
So how has Dawn Staley adjusted with only Wilson kind of down low leading the front court? What other players have stepped up to help Wilson out, and how has Wilson adjusted in your eyes?
Well, Wilson has pretty much flourished, although she had challenges against Arizona State, which is an interesting thing because the two teams played the year before in a tournament in Hawaii, which was a hard-fought game as well. So I think Arizona State came in with a little bit of confidence. I think South Carolina beat them that year by 3 or 4 points. It was a close game all the way through. So I think they came in with a little bit of confidence. And quite frankly, in my opinion, they outplayed South Carolina the other day. South Carolina came on strong in the second half. They finally got their press going, which is something they try to do now with Coates gone, and they're a smaller team. They use their point guards, Taisha Harris and Bianca Cuevas Moore, very good, pressing and doing that kind of thing. So that's what they try to do now. And they put Alicia Gray has been playing the 4 a very good bit. She's a 6-foot transfer, was a first-team All-ACC player when she was at North Carolina, and she's been playing well. But obviously, she was injured in the last game. She appears to be okay, but I guess we'll see when the game starts. They've been putting her at the 4, and she's been doing very well because she can take you out and she can hit the 3. Also, another really good transfer by the name of Kayla Davis, who was an All-ACC performer as well at Georgia Tech, has been playing her best basketball recently, both hitting outside shots and being able to drive to the basket. And she is one of their top defensive performers as well. So they're going to be, they're going to come in small. They're not going to be overly big, but they'll still pound it a little bit. But they will pressure. They won't pressure the whole game. They try to spring it on you in spurts of 5 to 6 minutes. So that's pretty much what you can expect from South Carolina.
A lot of great players for Dawn Staley, obviously a top team in the country year in and year out for the last 3, 4, 5 years. We saw that Miami Hurricanes tried to do the same thing against Quinnipiac on Monday night in the round of 32, but Quinnipiac was able, to use ball movement. They had 24 assists on 28 made field goals. Willie, what one piece of South Carolina's game do you see as their weakness, and how can Quinnipiac exploit that come Saturday?
Well, I did not see the Miami game, but I did watch a good bit of the Marquette game, and quite frankly, I think South Carolina's going to have a challenge trying to press Quinnipiac for any period of time. I was really impressed with the guard play, so I think they're probably going to have to play it straight up, and try to pound it in to Wilson, which should be successful. I noticed that doesn't look like Quinnipiac has anybody her size. And the thing about Wilson is it's not that just as she's 6'5", she can go out and shoot the jumper from the free throw line, and she's very quick. She likes to go to her left, but she can go to her right. I mean, she pretty much can do anything, and she blocks a lot of shots. So I think I have a feeling they're going to go back to trying to pound it into Wilson against them, because I'm not very sure, for a full game how well they'll be able to press Quinnipiac. Because like I said, I did not see the Miami game. I did see the Marquette game, and I was impressed with their guard play.
Last thing before we let you go, Willie. People in Columbia, are they able to pronounce Quinnipiac now, or are people still having a tough time?
Well, the coaches can. The coaches know how to. And I think they do. In fact, you'd be surprised. I think a lot of people, for whatever reason, have heard of the school before. Not necessarily for women's basketball, but I mean, most people are aware of the school. So I think they can. And there was a lot of talk about them yesterday at practice. I think the Arizona State game really put the South Carolina team on alert because, like I said, they were down by a point with less than a minute left, and so they were almost eliminated. So I don't think you'll see this team taking anybody lightly.
Definitely, I think Dawn Staley will have her team ready, as will Trisha Fabry and her Bobcats. Willie T. Smith, thanks very much for your time.
No problem. Enjoy it.
You guys can follow Willie T. Smith on Twitter at Willie_T_Smith. He will be at Madison Square Garden covering Frank Martin's men's Gamecocks team. They are in the Sweet 16. They'll face Baylor, as well as the South Carolina women's team. They'll take on Quinnipiac, the number 12 seed from the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. Game time will be 4:06 Eastern time. That'll also be 1:06 Pacific time out here on the West Coast. For more information about Quinnipiac women's basketball, don't forget to check us out on our website at Q30television.com, as well as on Twitter at Q30sports.